Hey, how's it going guys? Welcome back to the channel. Crimsonpanda here with episode 3 of this week's Mercenaries meta. For those of you who are new here, we're going to be taking a look at what comps are doing really well, what comps are up and coming, using data collected by you guys using HS replays. Now, this is behind a paywall, so I have paid for access in order to share with you guys everything that I'm seeing on the screen. So it'd be really appreciated if you guys don't mind scrolling down and just hitting that subscribe button to show your support on the channel. Now, with that being said, let's head over and check out what's been popular this week. So for those of you who watched episode 2, last week we did a seminar on the highest win rate comps and also the most played comps. So I kind of want to do something a little bit different than that this week because it's not going to change that much with the win rates, I would have thought. Frost probably still dominating the meta. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking a look at the new up and coming builds this week. So we're going to filter this to minimum of 100 games and we're going to start off with the top 50 to see what is up and coming. So we're going to go to games. So let's have a look here. So we've got Grom, Valera, Varden, Jaina, Sinestra, Locala. So this is like a GVT type, but we're using Varden instead of the Thrall. So it's still got the frost, almost frost backline. So I imagine that Grom or Valera will get killed off, and then you use Varden and Jaina sort of together again, but instead of opening with that. So that's interesting. I will hover over to see some of these equipments as well if you guys want to take these comps. Obviously these aren't the highest win rates, these are just literally the least games played, and they're up and coming. So this at a 53% win rate, not too bad, but obviously if you look down here at the third comp, this one has a higher win rate, so we'll definitely take a look at that. Really interesting comp here, we have a beast one with Nuzao. So this is obviously the new guy. And this is like a beast dragon comp. So using Rexar with the passive beast 4. Got Nuzao using his helm, which is given a passive 216 after an enemy attacks this merc, deal 5 damage to them. Okay, so that could be quite interesting. Then we got King Mutla with the big brother, Sinestra's mana brooch, appetizer with cookie, and Sinestra's band of bursting to give those dragons a little bit extra health. So that one is underperforming. It's obviously not at a 50% win rate, but I imagine it's quite a new one going up against a lot of frost on ladder. So that might be the reason. As the meta shifts constantly, this might be a go-to comp. Who knows? And then also we have this one here, which is doing really well, a 63.2% win rate. What's this? This is a like Local Cornelius Jaina. And then Varden, Belinda, Cookie, Bench. I mean, that's quite a versatile comp in my opinion. That's using quite a lot of the good mercenaries, but obviously using them in a different order this time. So starting with a Local Cornelius and Jaina. So the idea behind that, I guess, is to obviously try and punish those greens with the Local early times, with the Valera, trying to punish that, whilst trying to protect these two with Cornelius. And then obviously Jaina is there, I imagine, to just constantly scale up that frost. So even if you bring up Varden or Belinda, you're going to get some of that frost damage paying off. So that's really interesting. Cookie there just with the appetizers. So we've got Frigid Winds, got Cornelius Shield of Dawn, Talisman, Chilling Amulet, Lesser Water Elemental, and appetizers. So feel free to pause the video anytime to check out these comps. Obviously, if you zoom in enough, you will be able to see which equipments they are just by the pictures. So please feel free to do that. Scroll down to 73% win rate with 110 game sample size. So what is this? This is just a frost build. So no idea why that has got an absolutely substantial win rate. But let's take a look, see if the equipments are different. So we've got water, band, ice block, mana, frigid, and appetizers. So no, this is just doing really well down at this MMR. So I mean, if you're using this down at the MMR of 2000, then that is winning. Right, now let's go to 20%, 5.5. So we have at the top of the list, obviously this isn't done by win rate this time, it's done by games, new up and coming builds. So we got GVT with a shadow bench. Okay, so we're not using the typical cookie benches with the new Sinestra and Localar. Going shadow benched, so that could actually give you that different opener as well as that backline being different as well. Very interesting. So what equipments are the shadow using? So no cooldown. Oh no, it's the shadow beam deals 4 more damage. The Eye of Shadow, nice. Ring of Haste and Shadow Bolt deals 4 more damage. So this is a very DPS build. trying to kill off something as quickly as possible on the first couple of turns, and then also in the late game trying to kill off those reds, especially that local R if he's coming out later. Then we got a BGV, a Belinda Grom Valera. This is always going to be doing good. And the Nature Bench. We've spoke about that plenty in the other episodes. What else is doing really well? So we got just the Frost here again. This is the same one we just seen. 71% win rate at the 50% mark. So if you're still using this build to climb, then that is doing really well. Nothing here in the 50% range standing out too much. We have a kind of dragon build here, Nature Dragons. So we have Grom, Sinestra, Longzin at the opening, and then we've got Cookie, Yulong, and Malfurion bench. Okay, so we're using this Nature. So it's actually a Nature Dragon type, but with a Grom being able to slow them down at the start. Very interesting. I don't know if it's worth trying to sacrifice Grom in order to bring out like Yulong to try and get that maximum Nature stack. But that is a very interesting comp there. Got to keep an eye out for that one. We got Shadow Sam obviously making a comeback with the different bench now. Obviously, everything might seem similar, but having just one mercenary change makes it a completely new comp. So this is where the game sample size may be a little bit low, but you may see the comp as being quite a familiar comp. We've got a Anti-Frost by the looks of it here with a Rag, Eudora, Tyrion opener, and a Shadow bench. Vol'jin, Tamsin, and Sylvanas. Nice and interesting. And then as we get into the 150 games, it's starting to look like it's going back to some of those GBTs with Shadow Bench. We got Galvagar used here. Passive, plus friendly. All friendly characters have +5 attack. Very good with Valera, obviously. Using Grom to prop Valera to go stealth. And then just using a standard Nature Bench. See, trying to revisit those old comps might be very good in these meta shift phases. What else we got? We got Nature Dragon here again, but using Brightwing and Malfurion in the opener. Sinestra being a standalone Merc in the late game. And Brucon obviously being a standalone Merc, kind of if Yulong survives, getting that nature damage off with him. That's a fun looking comp. And we got a 61% win rate here. So what is this? This is just a fire with a standalone bench, isn't it? So we got Belinda, Geddon, Rag. And then in the late game, we've got the Sinestra Local Art Cookie, quite a standard bench. Basically the new Karen Diablo Cookie, but where the mercenaries don't synergize with each other. They're just really good by themselves. Okay, let's take a look at top 10, 7,400 rating plus. So this is the business now. So like I said, we're still going with game size, not win rate this episode, just to see what's up and coming. So we've got that Anti-Frost Shadow bench here. So this is doing pretty well up in the 10% range. And then we've got Grom, Sinestra, Longzin, that new Dragon Nature comps. That's up here, still being played in the top 10. And then once again that other Dragon version as well. So the Dragon Natures look like they're making a kind of comeback. I guess like people are using a lot of scaling healing with Chi-Ji being now accessible. So I guess nature damage might be the answer to beating that. Shadow Sam with standalone bench. Fire Belinda with, once again, standalone bench. As you can see here, these three comps here that are doing fairly well all have the same bench because it's just a really solid bench. And all they've changed out is those openers. So we've got Shadow Sam, we've got Belinda Fire, and we've got Belinda Frost. So such versatility with Belinda, being able to bring out two really strong comps just on the basis of her being so versatile. And then, yeah, just as we scroll down, feel free to pause it and you can change, take a look at each comp and use whatever you feel looks awesome. So we have a 60% here. We'll just highlight this. So we got Belinda, Varden, Valera. So we've seen that a lot in the past. People have subbed out Varden sometimes for Jaina just to start that scaling. And then once Belinda or Valera die, you bring out the Jaina. And then you bring out the Varden in that case sometimes, in order to scale up that Frost and get a massive clear off. So that looks about it on this episode of Hearthstone Mercenaries Meta. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. If you have, then please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Good luck on ladder, and I'll see you in the next video.